I just came from a debate tournament where I performed a speech, so that's why I'm all dressed up, just like you guys know. Here we go. You can step up, Sam. Should race be defined? Skylar Mackenzie Turner, you are black. I am black. And because of this, I have been a participant of many late-night kitchen table talks. During these talks, it was instilled in us that you are black. And because of this, you cannot act the same as your white friends. You cannot pretend to shoot toy guns. You cannot even wear a hoodie after the sun goes down. Because people might use these actions as a reason to steal the precious breath from your lungs. All my black friends were given this talk in some form or another. All my white friends were first taught to raise their hand to ask a question. I was taught to raise my hands and surrender. You may have been taught by your parents, your teachers, our society, that intelligence, sexual behavior, birth rates, aggression, and many other characteristics relate to only certain races. We can combat the ever-present racial issues of today by forming a new definition for the term race. Our current definition has tainted our perception of many people and has hindered their ability to have equal opportunities in our society today. First, we will determine if race is real. Second, we will determine why racism occurs. And last but not least, we will view our political perspectives and how they have played a major role in the way we define race. First, is race real? Race is a noun. Race has multiple definitions. One that isn't spoken very often is division. Race has been used as a tool to divide and decimate various groups of people throughout all times. We need to realize that we can define race as our ancestry, our heritage, and our background, but we cannot define people by their race. Race and racism is not genetic. Racism is something that has to be taught. Racism is a human mistake as a result of our human choices. Mistakes cannot be undone, but they can be untaught. Dr. Sussman, a professor of anthropology at the University of California, Los Angeles, tells us that in order for subspecies or races to form, a certain population of people would have to be isolated for hundreds of thousands of years. He asserts that there is no evidence that there has ever been a fixed, long-term geographical isolation between any numbers of people. Therefore, there's only one human lineage. There's only one race on this planet, point blank, period. All throughout time, people have deemed other groups of people less important. Joseph Stalin is responsible for the deaths of tens of millions of people. Adolf Hitler is responsible for the deaths of an estimated 11 million Jews. Joseph Stalin killed more people, but Adolf Hitler killed with an unprecedented savagery. Why? Why did this happen? This question leads me to my next point. Why does racism occur? The problem lies within the acceptance of other races as equal to his or her own. People have developed differently because of the need to survive differently. People have used this fact as a tool to judge, perceive, and conclude different qualities, grades, and classes of people based on the amount of pigmentation in their skin. I believe, since this is my history and I have personally dealt with this issue, that it is my responsibility to speak up for my fellow Americans who have been targeted by our country's current definition of race. I am black. Yes, I am black. And now I know I'm dressed nicely today and have a smile on my face, but inside, I struggle. I struggle with not knowing whether I should dislike or mistrust my fellow Caucasian friends because of how my ancestors were treated years ago. I struggle with how my people are currently being treated now. I struggle with not knowing whether I would be hired based on the color of my skin. I struggle with not knowing whether I would be thought less of based on the amount of pigmentation in my skin. Now I know it's 2017 and there are no plantations filled with black slaves working. I know it's 2017 and you cannot hear the sounds of whips being brought down on the backs of hard-working slaves. I know it's 2017 and there are no slave catchers running after slaves who had had enough of bondage. I know it's 2017 and there are no Jim Crow laws frightening blacks who have the courage to stand up for their rights. But it's 2017 and I have experienced unwelcoming racism numerous times in my short 17 years of life. From having to wait 45 minutes to be seated at a restaurant with only 2 customers, to being instantly considered less important based on the color of my skin. Last summer, my cousin and I took a trip to Worlds of Fun. While we recapped on all the funny occurrences that had already taken place on our exuberant adventure, she bent over with laughter and carelessly placed her hand on the cool metal rail in front of her to lean on. She accidentally touched the hand of the man in front of her, and being courteous, she said, "Sorry about that." But when the man rigidly turned around to see who had touched him, his face filled with unconcealed disgust. I felt sorry for him in the way he had decided to perceive certain people. To look at a person with the amount of unconcealed disgust he threw at my cousin just because of the color of her skin was exceptionally hard on me. The different cultures that surround me amaze me. I see my Africans, I see my Jamaicans, I see my Latinos, I see my Caucasians, and the different music, styles, and accents amaze me. I do see color, but hate does not consume me when I see someone who does not look like me. Why does racism occur? The simple answer is because people have decided to treat people who do not look like them unequally. Third, we will view the political perspectives and how they have played a major role in the way we define race. Deaths, outrage, protests, these have all been a steady cycle in our society pertaining to policing, government, and justice. The African American community have been outraged by the deaths of Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, and Michael Brown. Movements such as the Black Lives Matter movements have been formed not to show that Black lives matter more, but that Black lives need to matter more to their society. Now, I'm not saying that these few instances define America entirely, but they should not still be happening today. In conclusion, I believe racism will always be. No matter how many papers are written or how many speeches are orated, nevertheless, we need to change the way we define race. The U.S. has done an unacceptable job of accepting and embracing racial differences, and we need to fix it. We need to accept those who we have accepted citizenship into this country and not treat them like they are anything less than American-born citizens. Motivational speaker Ruben Garcia said it best. Maybe it's not about making America great again, but about making America great for the very first time. Thank you.